When I drink too much beer, I end up at Crawler Ted's garage.
Morning guys, Crawler Ted here. Sunday morning, I'm out in the garage getting ready to do a couple things. Well, doing a couple things here. We got a trail run at noon today down on the river trail. I'm intending to make that run. So I'm out here this morning just charging batteries. I got to check a couple things on the new Rubicon there. Basic stuff. Just make sure you're ready to go. Get everything together. It's so nice out here right now that I think I'm going to pack a boat along. I still didn't order the freaking impeller for my jet boat. I don't know what I'm waiting for. It's one of those things, every time I'm online I don't think about it. And then, I'm out here in the garage looking at the boat and it's like, oh, I got to order that impeller. Anyway, I am going to take my Mini Mono along with me. I've taken the Mini Mono down river trail and stuff like that numerous times. It fits so nice in the backpack, right? It's just so convenient. Tiny little batteries, one more radio, but what do you do, right? You've probably, if you've seen any of my videos about the Mini Mono, I've said straight up, it needs a couple minor little mods, to do with the drive line, stuff like that. My biggest complaint, I'm going to tell you right now, is the rudder linkage. The bracket that holds here's the rudder. I'm just going to stick the rudder in place. Okay, so there's the rudder in place, right? So now the little rudder linkage that goes from the servo linkage to the rudder to actually steer the boat, correct? Okay? Now that's this little piece right here. This little black piece here. You can see how it, that goes onto the top of the rudder in this hole, and it Allen set screws into there. Okay? And then there's this other piece here. Okay, just a second. So here's what you end up with, okay? The black part between my fingers, that goes over the rudder shaft, okay, and set screws onto there. This part here goes over the rod that connects the servo to this linkage to actually turn the rudder, okay? Here's the problem. This piece, it's just ridiculous. I swear to God, I have bought, it's got to be, if I haven't bought 15 of these, at least 15 of these, I'll eat this one, okay? No, I know I have. I've bought at least that many. Not to mention, every time I break the damn thing, I take and CA it, put it back together, and you can run it like that for a while. But man, all it takes is just a light bump, and this piece breaks. This one here, for example, is broken. It has been CA'd. I think you can see it there, right in close to the round part. Totally ridiculous. These things are so weak and so flimsy. I have broken it trying to install it on the boat. Like, come on, man. Give me a break, right? What does it take to make a piece like this that's a little stronger? I can't be the only guy breaking these, like, over and over and over. I put my boat, my Mini Mono, on my backpack. And, I try to position it in there strategically so it's not going to get beat and stuff. Pull it out of the backpack, this piece is broken. And it's like, come on, right? I've thought of a couple different ways. Here's one here, for example. Another one. So this is one that's broken. This one's a little different. Some of them have this brass insert in there. You'll see this one doesn't. Okay, it's just got the small hole in the plastic. Some of them have this brass insert inside that big part, okay? Makes no difference because it's the thin plastic part here that's what fails and breaks, okay? So, I am going to fix it today. And finally, I've had enough of this, so I'm going to fix it, okay? So, here's where I'm at. Here's where I've got. I've got a little blue high-tech servo horn, okay? Now, obviously, the hole in there is way too big for the rudder shaft. You can see, it's, that's not going to work, right? Because that's how that would have to go in there, and this would set screw to the flat spot on that shaft. You can just see it there. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's the brass piece out of the other plastic ones. It doesn't quite fit into the splined hole, you see? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill this out so that this will fit inside of it. Then I can set screw through it to the flat spot on the rudder. I'll cut this guy here down slightly, because you can see it's a little bit longer than the stock black plastic piece. Say that 5 times fast. I could probably just even bump up a couple holes and do it that way. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I'll probably just cut it down. No sense having that extra meat on there. But you know, I think that's going to be the ticket. Put this in there. This is never going to break. I mean, this aluminum piece, it just simply, that's not going to break. It can't. Period. So once this is done, the only thing then will be the, you know, the rudder could break, I guess. If you're familiar, they have the small elastics, or sorry, small O-rings that hold the rudder into place. And what that does, so if you hit a rock or something, what's supposed to happen is the rudder's supposed to break away like that. You see? See? That's in position, correct position. Pop. Okay? Now, in my experience, what would happen is that when you would clip something and the rudder would break away, this piece was a given. This piece is going to break. The rudder might break away, pop out like it's supposed to, but this is probably going to break as well. Trust me. 15 times, I told you, right? So yeah, you can see the little O-rings, they just stretch around that bracket there. I've actually broken this bracket a couple times too. The first few of these parts here that I broke came with this other bracket set, the standoffs. There you go. So I was throwing these away for the first while. I was like, oh, I never break that part, I'll just throw those away. Then I broke that part a couple times, so don't throw anything away. Hang it on the shelf, you never know. Okay. So back to this. So what I'm going to do, got my little drill index here. I'm going to find out what size this guy is. And I'm going to want a snug fit in that aluminum horn, right? Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. That feels good. 15/64. So I'll be back. I'm going to find a drill bit that fits this. Just going to lock this puppy into the vise here. The horn is just aluminum, so obviously the drill's pretty easy. So see, there we go. Now it's drilled right through. Okay, so there you go. Drilled it out. Perfect. Wow, even better than I hoped, actually. Oh yeah, it goes in, yeah. So there we go, see? It definitely goes in there. I'm going to push it in a little more. But it is snug, and that's what we want, right? I would probably, you know, I probably won't have to put anything on there. I was just going to say I'll probably shoe glue it or use something when I put it in there. But, let me show you how this works here. Boy, that's a good fit. It's snug. Okay, so, see in the side of it? That Allen keyhole, or grub hole there? So that grub screw is going to go through there and hit the flat spot on the shaft, you see? And that's what, you know, obviously what holds it and then allows it to steer. So I need to do the same thing in this blue horn. There's no hole in the side of the blue horn like there is in these plastic horns, right? So that means, so that's probably going to be the most difficult part here, because I have to, yes, I have to do that. I have to have a hole through the side of this in order to cinch down, in order to lock this to the flat spot on that shaft. So I'm going to have to try and drill a hole through the side of this very carefully. That's going to be the trickiest part of this whole operation, I guess. So let me try that and we'll be back. Again, I got to find the right drill bit and stuff, so I'm just going to turn this off. Okay, so there we go. I've got the servo horn locked in so that I can get at the side there. It's I'm going to use a 3/30 seconds bit, which is just smaller than the grub screw that we're using, and I'm hoping I can just thread it in. I don't know if I have a 3mm tap. I think I broke it again. So, but by threading it in, backing it out, threading it in, backing it out, I should be able to thread it. It's pretty soft metal, right? So first of all, we want to take our geez, I can't even think this morning. It's Sunday morning and I'm just gapping out all over the place here. I'm going to make a mark with just make sure that's a good mark. So we put a little divot in there, and that's going to help the drill bit, right? That's going to give the drill bit a place to sit while it starts, so it doesn't skitter all over the place on me and end up drilling a hole somewhere where I don't want a hole. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if I can get this to drill through there real nice for me. There we go. So there we go. See? Simple as that. Sat on the hammer. Jeez! Did I mention it's Sunday morning? Okay, so there we go. I'm winning. So I've got the big hole for my brass insert to go through, right? I have the little tiny hole in the side, which I'm going to thread so that my grub will go in there. So what I'll do is put that together so those two holes are in line. When I put the grub in, it's going to hold these two pieces together and hit the flat spot on the rudder shaft. Bada boom, bada bing. Then it's just a matter of connecting the other piece of linkage, which goes to the shaft here, and that's what's connected right to the servo, you see. So this part of it works great. The part that connects to the shaft, no issues. It's all metal. The way they've designed it, it clamps onto this really well. It works great. I don't know why they dropped the ball with this. I mean, I can see having a part that's going to fail, you know, if in a crash or whatever, you know. But come on, when it breaks when you're trying to install it, you know, you're carrying your boat in your backpack, that piece breaks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's a boat. You're supposed to, you know, be a little more careful, blah, blah, blah. But hey, look who they're dealing with here, right? Anyway, let's see where I'm at here. Right now, I need to try and get some threads on that little hole, right? So here's the grub, here's the little hole. I don't know, you know, if you've ever tried to do something like this without tapping it, it is doable. You really have to be careful because you can break the, you know, I can break the grub off in there, break the tip off the driver trying to do that because you're using a fairly small driver. There's a lot of things that you could go wrong. You just got to be really careful. I mean, obviously the most perfect way to do this would be with a driver, or sorry, with a 3mm tap, you know. But as I said, I don't think I have one. So I am just going to go ahead and tap it with the with a screw. I'm not going to use the grub to tap it. I'm going to use an actual 3mm screw. You see, just because it's a little tougher, I can put a bigger driver in the head. That's important, right? So find the driver for this. There we go. Okay. Boom. So here we go. Bump this and this. Okay. So I've literally just put a driver on that bad boy and threaded it through. Just, you know, go easy because this is really soft aluminum. There's not much of it there. I knew it was going to go through pretty easy, but depending on what you're trying to go through, it's not always going to be that easy. Like I said, the best method is always to tap it first. But see, let's thread it back out of there, and done. Okay, so good to go. So there we go. Check that out. Does that look beefy or what? I'd say so, hey? A little beefier than this. Yeah. Won't be crazy gluing this thing together. So, now I'm just going to put them back to back so I can see which hole is going to be the one I want now. That's the third one in, which also has to be drilled out. Look at that, if it was back further it would fit. So I'm just going to drill this out quick. Okay, simple enough. So then this piece goes in there so you can see how this all works. Let me just get this started. There's a tiny washer there too. I'll also put that in. So my thinking right here, right now, is that I am never going to have to buy one of these again. I just don't see why. This just simply can't break. The rudder could break, yes. The brackets that the rudder mounts to could break. And I have broke those parts as well, don't get me wrong, okay? But this little horn is the most frail part of the boat, I'm telling you. There's no question in my mind. Turn it on. What I want to do now is make sure that my steering trim is focus. Make sure my steering trim is centered. This looks like straight up is centered, okay? So my steering trim is centered, everything's on. That way when I plug in the battery, I can get the servo to center out exactly where it's supposed to be. Otherwise, you know, you put it all together and then you turn it on and it's going to crank over left or right because you didn't center stuff beforehand. Not cool. Okay, hear it? Boop boop. Rock on. Okay, so there we go. Steer it a bit, everything works. Yeah, no problem. As I said, the steering trim is centered. So now all I'm going to do is center the rudder. As long as I don't move the steering, I'll be fine. And now there's a grub screw in the bottom of, bring this up. See in the bottom of that? There's a grub screw in there, and that's what holds it to the shaft. You know, I'm going to pull that one out and put a little, tiny little dab of thread lock on it, I think. Just to make sure I don't lose it. Oh! Just dropped a big blob of thread lock right on my leg, man. Right on my pants. Real nice. Idiot. So there, see how everything is straight, and that's where I'm going to tighten it down. Okay, and then, you know, with your steering trim you can adjust slightly if need be. So, check it out. There we go. Here, I'll power it up again. Throttle trim must be off a bit. Okay, anyway. lots of steering, and solid. That's done. Done deal. Never gonna break that. It's just can't happen. I'm gonna give this just a little dab of thread lock just on top, just to make sure it stays put too. I've CA'd that one before, but since I have the thread lock right there. So how cool is that? You can see my little brass insert inside that high-tech servo horn. Simple as that. So we've replaced this feeble, frail piece of crap with an aluminum horn that's never gonna break. Done. So this boat is getting closer and closer to truly being bulletproof. Can't wait to hit the trail today. Thanks for watching, guys. Here, I'm up here.